Obviously have Allison's camera. She's at the Better Bodies booth about to do an interview, so I am gonna film a little bit of it for her. Obviously it's super loud in here, so I'm sure you're not even gonna be able to hear anything, but they do have microphones, so maybe we'll, maybe you won't, but we're gonna see.
2026 World Classic Fitness third place champion, AllisonK. She's a fellow Texan, coming out of Plano, Texas, and went for me. Allison, how's it feel?
I am just super happy with yesterday. I had an all-time best with my physique. I had an awesome time performing. After last year's Olympia, I placed 6th. And it was just it was a hard thing to overcome in the sense of I had a very high with prejudging and a low with my routine performance. So coming into the Arnold, of course, you train to win, and like that's the ultimate goal. But for me, coming into the show, like I really just wanted to feel like myself and have fun again, because in the world of fitness, you never know when your career could be cut short. So for me, I just woke up super excited to be here. I love the Arnold. It's always run so well, and the athletes are treated wonderful. And I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do. I was top 2 in prejudging, and I had the time of my life performing my routine, and I just had so much fun. And at the end of the day, like, that's a huge personal win, and to be rewarded for it. My past Arnold placings, I was 6th at my first Arnold in 2022. In 2023, I was 4th, and then to be 3rd yesterday is just like the confirmation that like I'm headed in the right direction.
So you've been at this point over 10 years, right?
Yes, so 2016, I did the Dallas Europa, was my first show as an amateur, and so in June will be my 10th year just competing in fitness.
So I'm gonna ask you, we were talking about this earlier, how do you see the sport change and progress over the past 10, 12 years?
Yeah, so it evolves. The physiques, I think, have continued to very much so, I think, go more towards the bigger division. I think it's very, very comparable at the highest level. I think the physiques have just continued to evolve, and I think, you know, like Whitney and Missy and like those girls just like set the standard of like pushing the physiques a little bit harder. And then just as far as routines, like I was telling you, like when I first got into fitness, like it was Trish and like Bethany and Tangi, and like they were my inspirations for getting into this sport. Just the high energy, fun performance, and that's what I like to stick to. I think you have seen some of it change in the sense of like Oksana came on the scene and it got very theatrical, but for me it's always just sticking to what you love and doing it, because that's what translates on stage, and when you're having fun, like the judges can feel that energy. So I think, you know, they've started to really push the skills harder. Everything's just been elevating. I think they've gotten a little bit more into like the calisthenics and the hand balancing. That's not something that was like super heavy years ago, but it's just been crazy to see it evolve through the years. But for me, it's just, I want to have fun, and I want to do a high energy performance, and just like, I want the judges in the crowd to like feel my energy.
Definitely building on a high energy performance. And you're right about that. When you're having fun and you're confident, the judges see it, the crowds feel it, they feel it, and they respond to it. So mission accomplished there. So, you know, just kind of shifting gears, it's a very brutal sport, you know, because you're dieting down, your body fat's super low, and you're having to do tumbles and flips and all these crazy moves and not get hurt. So talk to us about what you do to stay healthy and not get injured when you're up there doing that.
Yeah, so I think for me in my early years of competing, like I wasn't as good with recovery, and it's something that I take very serious now. You know, whether it's like the adjustments, the cold plunge, massage, body work, all of those things, like you have to stay on top of it, because you're training like an athlete, you're training like bodybuilders in the gym, and you're growing and you're pushing your physique. But then we also have to turn around and perform and practice, and that's additional time outside of the diet, cardio, training, that other athletes don't have to manage that extra piece. And it's like, we're doing and training just as much as everyone else, and then some. So it's like staying on top of keeping yourself healthy, and like making sure that you're recovering and taking care of your body, and not, you know, knowing when to push it and knowing when to pull back.
Now, listening to you say all that, that's a lot. But we know that also you work in finance, you know, so I want you to tell people also and share with people, I mean, what you do is incredible. There's goosebumps. It's incredible. And to have that balance of having your own life and having a job, having a career, and then also being a pro, you know, and this is your hobby, but you turn your hobby into, you know, becoming a pro on a professional level. So you can share with us how you keep that balance of being successful in the finance world, but also so successful here in the bodybuilding world as well.
Yeah, so I'm a chief operations officer for an RIA financial planning firm. So I manage the staff, like the back end of the business, payroll, I administer the 401k, I'm managing the compliance program, I'm doing trading in clients' portfolios. So I have a very heavy job, but I love it. I love it. I'm very, very thankful. Like, it is a small business, so I work from home, which is a huge piece of like being able to manage my diet and not have to have, you know, I don't spend as much time commuting, and I have the schedule of like, I can just kind of cook my food as I go. I don't have to like get up and pre-portion meals. Like, everything is just in the fridge ready for me to go. And it's nice, like, if I need to put something in the air fryer, I can go back and work and then eat when it's ready. But that's made my life in the sense of balancing a lot easier working from home, which I'm very thankful for. But it's like sometimes I feel like I have this double life, because I'll come to these shows and it's like, you know, you go to the meet and greet and people are lining up to meet you, and then Monday morning, like, I'm gonna go sit at my desk and it's like, do I have a double life? But I'm just thankful, and I feel super blessed in the sense of like, I have two passions, and it's like, I love bodybuilding and it's my passion, but at the same time, you never know how long you have. So I know that I'll have my career when I am able to move on from this, whether it's stepping away from the stage and like staying in bodybuilding in a different sense of like being at the booths and like working at the expo or whatever it is. But just having that balance in my life, I think, has kept me very grounded. Because I know who I am as a competitor is not my results, it's who I am as a person and my character, and being able to show people that you can do and be more than one thing.
Yeah, I think that's the most important, and what I want you to really reveal, you know, is
Dominguez.
You have that balance, and you can create that balance. You don't have to go, you know, 100%, you know, get engulfed into bodybuilding and all this and forget about life itself. But then it's really a small window, you know, our professional career in bodybuilding. So you have to have a backup, and a lot of people don't think that way. They think once I turn pro, if I get to the pro level, that's it. I made it. I'm done. You know, but it's not like that. So it's great to have someone come in to have an awesome career like you, to be able to share with everybody, to say, hey, you need balance, you need to be organized, and you need to be prepared every day. You know, so that's a great example to set for everybody.
Yeah, so for me, it's just always been about finding the balance that works for you. Everyone's balance is going to look different, and not comparing your journey to someone else's, because it's not going to look the same. Like, I know a lot of girls I compete with, they're online trainers or they're full-time in the fitness industry, and that's what works for them, and it's like, that's great, but for me, it's like, I need an outlet outside of this, and vice versa, because there's just so much more to life. And I think it does help me, just like, you know, when you have a bad showing or things don't go your way and like you're bummed, and then you turn around and you're like, okay, but I have this. Like, my life is very full and I feel fulfilled in a different sense. And so having other things is just...
That's a key thing, being fulfilled in your life, you know, and not having this absorb everything, you know, and have some other distraction and some other love to go to, so you can live your life and not stress out, because this mentally can break you down, you know, easily every day.
Yeah, I mean, it is my hobby, but it's something that I love and I deeply care about. So, you know, having a bad showing or a bad outcome, it's like, you can be down but not out, because you pick it up and you just keep moving forward. And, you know, I always like to tell people, it's like, when you're in crisis and like you're pivoting, like, plans don't always go your way. So it's like, being able to pivot and like change pace is like, that's like a superpower.
Absolutely.
So we talked about it earlier, but just so you know, It's the only division where I think the routine outweighs the physique. So I believe a third of your score is your physique, 2/3 of the score is the routine. And as you alluded to earlier, you're able to do routine where you're dehydrated, depleted, and you feel like crap. I remember me and Trish doing this show together, and I'm dead. And she's got to go out and jump around and look like a jumping bean. And I'm like, there ain't no way. And, first of all, I can't jump like that anyway. I can tear something, but there ain't no way feeling like that. So explain to us, what's your mental mindset going to that? Because I know you don't feel good. You're depleted, our body fat's low, you're probably dehydrated to a certain extent, and you've got to go out there and do what you do on that stage. Yeah, and smile. And make it like you feel good.
Yeah, so fitness it's a balancing act. You can't, we do still taper water, and we're trying to peak the physique for like the best possible outcome, but it's like you can't be someone who like pulls water completely out, and like you need to keep electrolytes in, you need to have salt, and then in between prejudging and finals, it's like when you step off stage, it's like I need to eat, I need electrolytes, I need water. So like I'm someone, it's like as soon as I'm off stage, I'm like drinking coconut water, I'm having electrolytes, I'm trying to get a meal in just so that I can digest before I turn around and perform. But it's like, there's so many variables. Like during peak week, it's like, okay, when you start tapering water, it's like you have to still make sure you're stretching and make sure that your muscles are pliable and still moving, and like you're not getting stiff, because when you start tapering water and you feel it in your joints and it's starting to like dry out, you're like, okay, well, I know the physique's looking good, but
it's super hard because you're still being judged on your physique. You're being compared, so you got to be in shape, but you still got to be able to perform your routine. That's a really hard lane to walk.
And it is something that I think gets better over time, because for me, for instance, like 10 years ago, my first show, like I didn't look like this. I wasn't this lean, and so you start to condition yourself to perform at lower levels of body fat, and that's why it's also important in fitness, like not to try to grow too fast. And I think Sandy used to say this about Dexter, just like build your physique, don't try to build someone else's physique. And like when you do it with time and care, and you're not trying to do it too fast and rush it, that's when I think you put yourself at more risk for injury, putting on too much tissue too fast and losing that flexibility like in the muscle. So it's just taking your time, doing it, running your race, and just like at the end of the day, I'm just like, you got to take your time, because like you don't want to get hurt.
So I gotta ask you, what's next?
In 3 weeks, we'll be doing the Arnold UK. So it will be my first international show. So I'm super excited to get the opportunity to travel over to Europe and enjoy a little bit of time after the show in Europe. And then when I come back, I believe I'm going to plan to probably do Legion Sports Fest in May. I was the 2024 champion at Legion, so I want to go back. 2025 champion.
Let's go, my girl.
I love the show. Christmas puts on a great production. It's one of the few like pro shows outside of like the Arnold and Olympia that has like an expo and an experience. So I love that show. I also have plans at some point to do a figure show. I'm not quite sure when that will be, but it's just always been like on my bucket list to do it. So we'll see what that looks like. I'll let my coach be the final say so on when that will be.
That's what Trish did. Towards the end of her career, and I think the routine started to play a toll on her joints, and so she always wanted to do figures, so she crossed over and did a couple of figure shows, and actually her last 2 shows she did physique.
Yeah.
She placed I think top 3 a couple times, and she went down.
Yeah, so for me, fitness is still my passion, it's still my love, but I think I still have a love for bodybuilding, and I know with fitness, it's like you can only flip around for so long.
Hey, we're all bodybuilders. I don't care what division you do, bikini, fitness, bodybuilding, whatever, we're all bodybuilders.
Yeah,
that's what it's all
at the end of the day, I'm like, that's kind of like my long-term plan, just to keep it in my life for whenever I'm ready to make a change. But for now, I'm just like, I just want to try it and see and have fun and kind of go into a show, at this level in my career, like there's a certain level of pressure and expectation when I'm stepping on a fitness stage, not just at an Arnold, but when I, since my first pro win in 2021, every qualifying show I've done, I won. I got second once on a tag. And so I have a certain level of pressure going in.
Now, do you think that's pressure that you put on yourself, or you think that's external pressure?
I think a little bit of both. Like, I think I have a level of expectation from myself and just, from people who are just like, well, you haven't won. When you go into a qualifying show. And so I'm like, oh, well, what's going to happen? But it's just like the field's always changing and the competition's getting better. So I never walk into a show assuming I'm the winner. And I train for it to win. And I'm like,
I do. practice my victory speech in the shower every day. So I told myself I won.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But yeah, I walked in and I was like, shit, I got it. And
so for me, it's just like train to win. And, you know, if it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way. It's just a learning experience to overcome. But for me, it's about getting my qualification and getting back to the Olympia. 4 consecutive years I've made it to the Olympia, so I want to make it 5.
well, I have no doubt you will. So on behalf of myself, Johnny, you know, Team Gas and Better Buddies, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on the stage at the Olympia this year.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Great.
Guys, y'all want some free stuff?
Yeah.
My time in Columbus is over. I think this is actually going to be the start of the new video. I wrapped the show day vlog. This is new vlog. Show day's over. We are 19 days out. Arnold Classic UK.
Welcome back to the vlog.
Welcome back. We are sitting here chilling. We're about to head to the airport. We are leaving Columbus. I'm going back to Dallas. Andrew is going back to Bakersfield. Is that where you live?
No.
Marietta?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm flying to San Diego. That's all
San
I know, you
Diego?
know?
Fuck.
San Diego.
San Diego.
I do spend time in Bakersfield, though. It's
Who
one of my
is...
favorite ones.
Okay, that's where I'm like... I remember in her vlog, Reagan would be like, it's as far as Bakersfield.
Yep.
When she's talking about going to the gym, the
Sounds
other
about
power.
right. The other powerhouse that's 15 minutes away instead of 5.
I'm heading back. It's just with taking so much time off of work this week, and then for UK, I wanted a day at home before jumping back into everything at work. We are in the process. We are going to be switching platforms, so there's going to be a lot of repapering accounts again, but whatever. So, super happy. 3rd place at my 3rd Arnold Classic Fitness International personal best. And now it's just time to get some feedback and see what I can improve on for Arnold UK. Super excited to get out there. I've never done an international show. I mean, I did Toronto Pro once, but at the time I lived in Pennsylvania, so we just drove. So it's not like that was like an international experience. Yeah, so this weekend was a dream. Everything was so much fun. The girls, the vibe, everything was great. And now it's just time to get back to work after, you know, recover, recoup, have some meals, have some treats, and get back on my grind. I woke up this morning and I did cardio. I slept 3 hours last night. Like, these lashes are hanging on strong. We went over to the expo. I had a interview at the Better Bodies booth. Expo was insane. But I also got a little Tim's unit that I'm going to travel with, which I think is going to be great. And then I'm just ready to get home and relax and get a night's sleep. And then tomorrow is brunch. We are back from the Arnold. It's actually Thursday, the 12th, so I've been back for several days. Life just felt nuts, honestly. Anyone who competes, maybe, unless you're like, I don't know, what's the saying? A wallflower? I don't know. I go out and I have fun after my shows, and a lot of times I cannot sleep the night of a show. Like, cannot sleep. Just so much adrenaline. Then you're having fun, you're celebrating, all the things. And it's already been such a long day. Show day, I think we left finals at like 9:30, get back to the hotel. We make a little cocktail while we're showering, getting ready. And then we're out the door, you know, we're going to eat. We went to eat, had some drinks, came back to the hotel, went to the hotel bar, hung out, left there. Andrea and I went back to the room, and it was just like gabbing. Like, we only really see each other like around bodybuilding stuff, so it was just like good to catch up like post show, because I think like before show we were like just downloading over like predictions and the show and all that kind of stuff. So it was just really nice to be able to like talk and like not be thinking about the show. But then I looked at my phone and it said 4:45 in the morning, and I was like, I've got to go to bed. Went to bed. I think I slept about 4 hours. I got up, I took my butt downstairs, I got on the stairs for 30 minutes and did my cardio just to like help move the food and the fluid and all the things. And then came back to the room, and it was just like trying to clean, pack up stuff. We had to go over to the expo because I had to be at the Better Bodies booth to do an interview. And it was just crammed in there like sardines. Like, even if there was stuff I wanted to look at, I wouldn't have, because it was just chaos in there. Like, and now they're going to do a 4-day expo to hopefully help with some of that traffic, but still, Friday and Saturday I'm sure are going to be like the most insane days. So we didn't really spend too much time over at the expo. I got this like cool little TENS unit that I'm excited to have, and it just has a small footprint, so it'll be really nice to be able to travel with it. Yeah, so then we kind of just hung out, we did lunch, and then it was, you know, almost time to come back. So then it's like finish packing, do all the things, come back. I took a nap when I got back on Sunday. My babies curled up in the bed with me. My mom had come to watch my dogs, so they had gotten plenty of attention with their grandma, but they love their mama, and they just hopped up in the bed and took my nap with me. So I slept for about an hour and a half, and then I came to destination again. I just needed to move. Like, I love to train, and even like post show, like normally, like I want to train on the day after a show, just because I think it helps me get back on track a little bit sooner, get back in my rhythm, ease into things. It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 workout. It's just about movement. So I came on Sunday, same thing. I did a little shoulder workout. I did my cardio. I left, and then we went to Chili's. And let me tell you, I had been thinking about a triple dipper for months. Like, I don't know. It's not even like that great of food. I think it's just like, it's a little bit of everything, so it satisfies that. I think I ate like a third of it, and I was like, we have to leave. Like, I'm nauseous. I get home and I got sick. So, not gonna make you gross out over the details, but I got sick. I got to bed. Everything was fine. I woke up the next day feeling a little bit better, but when you don't sleep for several nights, like that sleep debt just like adds up. So like, even though I got sleep that night, like Monday rolled around, I didn't feel that much better. And then I went to go get an IV at Sculpted MD McKinney. I've gotten several IVs there before. And honestly, like, normally I'm someone I can do like a full bag of fluid, and like my body will take it in about 45 minutes. I was there for like an hour and 40 minutes, and my body only took about half of the bag of fluids. And part of that's just because when you're dehydrated, the vein is like constricted, so everything is slow. So I'm at least got something in me that day, even though it wasn't as much as I was hoping for. Then left there, went and trained, did my cardio, same thing. Tuesday rolled around. And obviously, like, I got back to work, like, Monday morning, so my days had been kind of long. I was working, training, having these appointments. My mom was here. Tuesday, I just decided to take a rest day because I was still pretty sore all over. And then I just did cardio and sauna to just help with the water retention a little bit. So, Wednesday came. It was work. I went and did like cold plunge and sauna, and then I worked out, and then I met my dad for dinner. So we just went to Outback. So I was able to just like get a steak and ask for no butter, and broccoli, no butter. And, you know, I was able to follow my macros and not have any issues. So this morning I woke up, I was already back down to like 126.8. So post show, I had definitely seen a spike in my weight, but I knew most of that was like water retention. And then on top of that, like getting sick and dehydrated and not sleeping. It wasn't like, you don't gain fat that fast, but like, I think my weight, like morning of show was like 125. I was like 134, and I could just feel the water retention in my joints. So it was like, Monday was 133, Tuesday was 134, Wednesday was 129, this morning was 126.8. And I just, you know, I got back on track Monday, but your body still has to adjust and like lose the water. So I'm at a good place. I'll check in again with Justin on Saturday, and we will go from there, because then it's kind of like one more week to push, and then it's going to be peak week again, which is crazy. So 2 weeks from Friday, this upcoming Friday, Arnold Classic UK. So less than 2 weeks, I'm headed to Europe. I haven't been since I was 18. Doing an international show has always been on my bucket list. So I'm super excited to get over there and just be able to walk around after this. Like, I'm so excited. I am excited for the show. But Arnold US is kind of like, here at Arnold UK is like, you know, just a little bit less than that. And so I'm just so excited to like walk around and eat pastries and have cappuccino and just lattes and baguettes and all the food. And just in Europe, like, they don't have all the additives and crap that we have in our food. So, like, I just hear from so many people, like, it just digests better. And, you know, the portions are smaller over there and you're walking a ton. So I think that's, like, the perfect situation to be able to, like, indulge a little bit. But smaller portions, continuing movement. And then once we get back, we will game plan for the season. I have, like, a tentative plan in my head. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know. Just taking it one show at a time right now. I am here at destination. I'm going to do push and a little bit of cardio. I'm having my Oil Power energy drink while I sit in the parking lot and get ready to train. My body's still pretty sore from the show. Like, up into the show, I think I had mentioned I got an MRI on my knee because I like hyperextended it, and it's still just sore. It's not necessarily painful, but I can just definitely feel the inflammation in my joints. Same thing with one of my elbows. So I'm just kind of training smart. Like, you don't want to agitate anything this close to show, low body fat, all the things, but just enough to still, you know, push the glycogen into the muscle. I don't think I've ran out of it quite yet. I haven't been super hungry, like, which has also been nice. Because I know sometimes post-show it's like this ravenous feeling, but I think I just, with getting sick and then being dehydrated, like, I just didn't have that after Sunday. Like, even on Sunday, I was planning to get back on my diet on Sunday, but I kind of negotiated with myself and I was like, well, if I only have one meal this day and one meal this day, like, it'll be fine, instead of like binging all day long. So I think if I wouldn't have gotten sick and if I had just been a little bit better with like my water and a lot better with my sleep, I wouldn't have had the swings as much in my weight, but it's fine. We're leveling out. We're in a good place. This weekend will probably be heavy routine practice. I'm not making a ton of changes to my routine between the shows, but there are a couple little sections that I wasn't happy with even leading into the show, but then it got to a point where like I was just so close to show that I was just like, I just need to like make this work. I think it's like mainly 2 little sections that I just want to change that I think just can amplify the energy, the performance value, that kind of stuff. Physique wise, my feedback has kind of been all over the board. One judge told me too dry. One judge told me more quad sweep, and one judge told me a little bit tighter. So we're just gonna push maybe to come in like another pound lighter. Nothing crazy, but it's like finding that balancing act of like, if I'm, you know, if I come in a little bit tighter, will my legs have a little more separation, appear to have a bigger quad sweep, and then maybe just not be as dry in the sense of we'll be a little bit leaner, but like not pull water as much. I just relay the feedback to Justin, and then that's kind of like his call. And we did decide like we're gonna try to push maybe like a pound, but not more than that, because you know, you start to sacrifice performance, and that's what we don't want to do. Yeah, I'm super excited for UK. I've heard horror stories though about the stage being super, super hard. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We're not gonna think about that now. We're not gonna stress about problems that don't exist in today. So I'm going to get this workout going, and God, I still am like on cloud 9, like 3rd place at Arnold Classic Fitness International. That's the highest I've placed. In 2022, I got 6th. 23, I got 4th. And then I didn't compete there for 2 years. I had really started trying to hone in on my physique, to bring my best physique, because it's very, very hard to continue to prove your physique, because it was like at that point in my competitive career, like I was doing the Arnolds. I had to qualify in summer to do Olympia. And sometimes that would take, you know, the last few years, it's only been 1 show. 1 year it was 2 shows because I got 2nd on a tie. And then Olympia. And then it's like right back up as the Arnold. You weren't getting a lot of time off. So I think taking those 2 years off was definitely the right move. My physique is at a great place. Like, I think there's definitely things to refine. I by no means think there are still areas that I want to improve on, for sure. I'd like a little more density in my back, not more width, more depth. I want to continue to develop my abdominals, just to help tie my upper and lower together a little bit. And that's a balancing act because I want to keep my waist tiny as possible. So, because that's all the illusion for me. Like, people will see me on stage and they think I look huge, and I'm not. Like, I was 125 pounds the morning I woke up for that show. That is not a big human, and I'm 5'1.5". My off season, I was like 137. Like, I don't have huge weight swings, but we always do go through a little bit of a recomposition. So I'm gonna get this going. I'm going to get in here and train. I forgot to pack my heels. Tomorrow will be another day to do posing. I want to just tweak a little, refine my posing routine. I was happy with my presentation, but it wasn't as good as it was, I felt like, at the Olympia. It was hot up there on stage, which is ironic because Columbus is always cold. I've always been freezing in that expo, but I think it was warmer in Columbus. It was very humid because it was raining, and then the amount of people stuffed into that building, I was sweating before we ever walked out on stage. So yes, I want to improve some things there as well. So we're gonna finish this energy drink and get to training.